Only one place to be on February 7th, that's TNT, as the All-Star Draft Show airs at 7 o'clock live. Shaq's final All-Star game was in 2009, summed up his career perfectly. It began with an unforgettable dance off the court and finished with an MVP performance on the court. Ro Paris sits down with Shaq to discuss that memorable day, the episode of Storytime with Shaq.
And now, for the Western Conference, a 15-time All-Star, center, and one of the most dominant players in the history of the NBA, from your Phoenix Suns, the Big Shaqtus himself, Shaquille O'Neal.
2009, your final All-Star game. How did that whole situation come up with you on stage?
I was supposed to be an announcer, but I got a serious illness. I didn't want to announce. I'm like, this is embarrassing. I don't want to be announcing guys that I'm playing with. But I told him, because you know my great actor, I was like, hey man, I can't do it. Something wrong with my throat. He's like, we need you to do it. I can't. We got to do something now. And I saw the Jabberwockies practicing back there. I said, but I'm going to take care of the intro. He said, what are you going to do? I just said, just press record and I'll take care of it. So I knew a few members of the Jabberwock. I was like, hey, hit me with this move right here 3 times, and then I'm gonna bust into it, and I'm gonna pass to y'all, and then we just do it like that. So all that was like really freestyle. That was a great moment. Yeah, it was freestyle, but they wanted me to announce.
The reaction that you got from everyone after you did the Jabberwockies, what was the fam saying? What were the players saying after you got done?
Only thing they were saying was the face mask was a little too small for your face. Put it this way, I'm just glad Instagram and all that stuff wasn't around there, but it was cool.
At the time, did you know that that was going to be your last All-Star selection?
I kind of figured it was going to be my last. And look, we're getting older, a lot of young popular guys coming in. I got into the game. Sharif and Miles were ball boys at the time. And Sharif and Miles looked at me and said, Daddy, can you get MVP? And I said, all right, cool, I'll do it. Because I was just going to go, give a couple dunks. It was in Phoenix, my city. I was just going to play. But nobody was really taking over the game. So, I looked at Kobe and I said, let's go back to what we used to do. And it was, me running down the court, him throwing to him on the score, me getting the outlet, get it to him. It actually felt good that me and him could still do that. What had to break the so-called beef, Kobe did something that I didn't expect. We both got the MVP trophy. And Sharif and Miles, they love him. They love Kobe and LeBron and Durant and Steph Curry. They probably love those guys more than they love me as a player. So Kobe turns around and gives the trophy to Sharif. He said, here you go. I said, no, man, you take it. He said, no, man, it's all good. I love them boys. He gave his son the trophy. And after that, I said, you know what? All this nonsense and me going back and forth, it will stop today because of that moment.
Huge moment indeed.
Yeah, huge moment. Because he didn't have to do that, and I didn't expect him to do that. But he just looked at Sharif like, here you go, nephew. And Sharif, was still kind of young. Thanks, Uncle Kobe. And Miles gave him a hug. Sharif gave him a hug. I almost brought a little tear in my eye, but I had to suck it up.
Just when you're around Shaq, you know his presence. There's just always these moments, but there's the Shaq and Kobe moment, there's the dance moment, and then seeing his son Sharif, we know he's had surgery and what an incredible basketball player he is. There's just so much in there, and it's great to see that.
Yeah, it's a wealth of history, and that story right there in particular, I did not know that Sharif requested the MVP, and that's why he went out there and had that performance.
Yeah.
But Shaq, for one, he's the godfather of the game. When you're talking about players and guys that, people just flock to from an energy standpoint. Whenever you come into this studio, Shaq is here. He's going to give you a good laugh. He's always receiving folks with open arms. So it was just special to see that. I recall, watching him and hitting the, he was going through it. I was like,
what is he doing, Karan?
I was like, yo, he in his package. But, to see him do that on last minute, that just shows you how talented he is. Guy that sides, back flips, doing all that stuff, Big Diesel, man, salute.
A lot of guys don't like being 7 feet tall. He loves it. He loves it. He's loved it every day of his life, since he's a big kid. I'll tell you, I was fortunate enough, I played against Kareem. I'm that old. But I played against Kareem, and Kareem at the time was slowing down. Shaq is the greatest big man, most dominant big man I've seen in my lifetime on the basketball floor. The way he could run, jump when he was 18, 19 to 28 years old, run and jump, long. He had that dog. He went and got it. He could have won the MVP every year along with Michael. They were that dominant. I just love the guy.
Certainly, Shaq, one of those guys that brings
14 points late in the game.
He needed 3 more quarters.
Right?
Yes. 3 more quarters would have definitely got him to 40.
The Warriors went on to win it 115-101. Let's go ahead and check in with Steph after the game. Here he is with Lisa Salters. Such a smooth way to remind you he's a 2-time MVP. What were you telling yourself? Well, I don't know. This doesn't happen often. I'm not used to having to come up with that inner dialogue.
No, and I just think the fact that you play the game the right way, you know the ball's going to come back and find you, and that's just the way the system is for those guys.
Right, and just understanding what you need to do to help your team out. It's not always about scoring. Just having Steph on the court gives you a guy that can make shots, but just his shot-making ability, you still have to stay at home. And it's still going to open up driving lanes for guys like Iggy, Klay Thompson, Durant, and it's a luxury when you can have a guy that you don't need his scoring.
Meanwhile, Steph's splash brother, Klay Thompson, scored 28 points, 10 of 15 from the field. What did you see from his shooting?
Well, first of all, when you're watching guys that understand that the ball movement and player movement is premium under the Warriors. So Klay Thompson's come in tonight and said, okay, Lakers, you get a layup, you're scoring, but we get out and run, we have great spacing. And y'all know I lead the NBA in knocking down catch and shoot threes. So I'm going to put the ball on the floor, get to the rim, get a couple layups, get myself going. But once again, when you have guys run to the three-point line, nobody's in the paint, you're able to get all the way to the basket and kind of trick the defense. Same play here. Y'all know I can make threes. You're pushing up on me. I'm putting the ball on the floor. I'm attacking the defense slowly but surely, getting myself in rhythm. Yes, I missed the game previously before the illness. Now let me get another layup. Good contest by Beasley, but not enough. Now, remember I said spacing? Remember I said players know their system? They know eventually the defense is going to suck into the lane. Now you pop out, leave it, splash. You knock down the three. You remind everybody, yes, I missed that game the other night. They missed my shooting ability tonight. I come back and remind people. So once again, the Warriors share the basketball, player movement, ball movement.
And when they're playing this well in February, it's got to be frightening for all 29 other teams.
I mean, it's scary anyway, just watching these guys play throughout the season, especially when everyone is healthy. If this team can stay healthy, you know, they could be NBA champion once again. But the way they play, the chemistry, how well, as you said, how well they move without the ball, they know one another. The best teams and teams that have won championship have great continuity, and that's because they've been together for a few years. When you have players that have been together 1 or 2 years, we don't really know each other that well. Right. But when you can put guys that can stay together 4 or 5 years, and also another key is keeping your coaching staff together. Being able to develop your young talent, but also having guys that your players trust in and they know. And a lot of times it gets missing because of the talent. But when I have 4 coaches that I've won championship with, those guys know me and I know them.
And somehow that continuity has not been disrupted by welcoming Boogie to the roster, who seems to be fitting in flawlessly.
It's fitting in flawlessly, and you can never overestimate the fact that he was there for training camp.
That's the key.
He didn't come in late. He didn't get traded there. Yes, he was in it, but he was rehabbing around the team. He was doing the training around the team. When he was getting healthy, Cuz went down to the G League. So it's little things like that lets me know his maturity coming into this situation is on a premium high. Why do we say that, TD? Because we know the microscope's on Cuz, because they win the championship, and he's a big reason on why they win. Now some teams are going to say, well, maybe he's grown up. Let's throw him a bank load of money. Let's get the truck backing up. But Cuz is like, wait a minute. This is a team that's believed in me. I'm not just going to run away. But then the Warriors saying, wait a minute, if someone offers you a 4-year deal one night, get your butt out of here. Go get that
Those guys are going to push him out faster than he came in. But I still think with Cousin, just knowing those guys and having played with them, and they understand him as a player, we're going to help you out. There's nothing better than playing with veterans who won championship, because those guys can have a different conversation than you going to another team and them not talking. They're talking about the playoff. This team is talking about winning an NBA championship because they have done it, and you can't teach that.
Having seen him and coached him as many years ago as you did, TD, are you surprised that he's fit into this Warrior system so seamlessly and so quickly?
I got a chance to see him, and even when GMs were coming in, and I was telling him, I said, hey, DeMarcus is a great kid. I said he loves the game. He wants to win. He's passionate about what he does. Don't get his attitude caught up with him not enjoying his teammates, because John Wall all of us on the coaching staff, we all love DeMarcus. DeMarcus just wanted to win. At the end of the day, going to Sacramento, it was not a winning environment. You know, that organization was not winning at the time. They've done a great job this year. But when he was there, he wanted to win. But what he understood was, I have to play with guys that is as passionate about the game as I am and want to win as much as I do, and I will do my part. He understands his role with this team right now. He's not going to disrupt this team because this team has won championship, but having those veteran players make the transition a lot easier.
Well, we've got a lot more highlights to get to on a 12-game Saturday night as Game Time continues next with James Harden and the Houston Rockets looking to get back on track after dropping 2 in a row in Utah to play the Jazz. We'll be right back. Certainty surrounds the Lakers into deadline week. Several veterans, including Michael Beasley, had an emotionally charged verbal exchange with head coach Luke Walton post-game. It stopped short of turning physical. Guys, I want to ask you about the stress that surrounds the trade deadline, the stress that surrounds a veteran presence in a young locker room, knowing that it all could change so soon.
Yeah, it could change soon. As each veteran that may be getting verbal with Luke, I'd like to see which guy it was. They talk about Michael Beasley on a 1-year deal. Some of those guys, I think you have to be on your best behavior if you think you want to be with this team for the long haul. Now, if it's Rondo, who's a champion, who's been there before, a starter, he showed us a few years ago, playoff Rondo almost beat, the Bulls almost beat the Celtics by itself, then I may listen to Rondo. Obviously, if it's LeBron coming in, you're listening to LeBron. Lance Stevens, some of those guys, I'm like, guys, calm down a little bit. KCP in the beginning of the year, he was a little upset because he was out of the rotation. He checked himself, got back to playing basketball, got back into the rotation. So I'm a little concerned with some of these veterans.
You're talking to a coach that's won a championship as a player and as also on a coaching staff. And he was a role player. And you're not going to always be happy with your minutes. I've been in situations where I wasn't happy with my minutes, and I went and talked to the coach. He explained to me what was going on. But we were men about it. You know, there was no me going back and forth. There was no verbal disagreement where I listened to what he had to say. He gave me his explanation. I was like, okay, I understood it as a man. But I also had to think about, what if another team wanted to get me and now I become locker room talk where now I'm chemistry, with the cancer, but I'm chemistry to a locker room. You don't want to be a veteran player being bad chemistry to a locker room, because guess what? The other franchise organization, they're not going to get you anymore. They don't want you to come there, especially with their young talent. We want guys that are veterans that come in and teach our guys about being a champion.
Well, let's wrap up the highlights with the Hawks on their longest road trip of the season, entering their 6th of
What's the rodeo in town or something? Is there a rodeo in town?
Phoenix to face the Suns. We're calling it the Super Bowl.
Oh, that game's in town. My bad.
At least they get to miss all this traffic.
That's true.
DeAndre Ayton finished with 13 and 11. John Collins finished with 35 points and 16 rebounds.
Book it.
Yep, knocking down the 3. The Hawks would lead the way by 1 at the half, and in the 3rd. Booker for 3 more.
You know what? It seems like guys' range have gotten further out there.
Further out, man.
Look, though, he can get it done inside as well.
Oh, yes. He has hops.
He finished with 32 points and 10 assists. Trae Young, though, going off in the 4th quarter and putting the Hawks on top. The 4-point play, the 3 plus the foul.
With the highlighter shoes on, that's why I'm looking at the shoes.
I like those. Then he'd find John Collins for the 2-handed slam. Trae Young finished with 27 points and 8 assists as the Hawks go on to win it 118-112. We talked about the traffic. Let's talk about the game. Who's winning it? Super Bowl Sunday.
It's hard to go against, the GOAT. I want the Rams to win, though.
I would like for the Rams to win, but it's hard to go against the GOAT. I'm going with the Patriots.
I think everybody in Atlanta is probably rooting for the Rams, but Tom Brady's probably going to win.
Yes.
I personally am rooting for Adam Levine. I can't wait for that at halftime.
Halftime show.
TD and 3D. I'm Kristen.
Leave it.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time.